Hello and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast, your shortcuts to various opinions on all things pop culture and sometimes other topics. This is the episode for the week of November 23rd, 2020. I am your host, David Parker, and joining me today is
Landon Browning
and
Wil Dobratz.
Mick is probably sleeping, so he's not here this week, but he'll probably be back next week. What are you guys up to?
Another day, another dollar. Loving life.
I'm doing nothing, pretty much. Rolling up on the holiday season pretty fast. Starting to see more Christmas ads. They're starting to pop up everywhere.
Do you not like that, Will? Does that bum you out, or is that exciting?
Well, the only thing that I'm bummed out about is that I haven't seen the LeBron James want a Sprite Cranberry ad yet, but I haven't been watching too much TV, so I can't really say much.
Like the claymation, like the weird, like creepy claymation. LeBron.
He's like a doll, right?
Or is he a claymation? He's like singing like the holiday cheer song about like having like Sprite Cranberry or whatever.
Yeah. He's like want a Sprite Cranberry, and it just cracks me up every time because they reuse the same commercial every single.
I mean,
year.
They save money, right? I mean, when he did that, he probably signed some long contract that paid him, tens of millions of dollars to use his likeness for.
Yeah, I guess when you have LeBron James and you have like a commercial that's relevant for only like 3 months or maybe even 2 months of.
Man, can we talk about overrated people? I mean, like, I'm just kidding. I don't really have an opinion on LeBron.
Sucks. LeBron sucks.
Landon, do you actually not like LeBron James?
I don't. I'm not a big NBA guy, but yeah, I can't stand LeBron.
Why?
I don't know. He's just annoying.
Is it because he wins championships? Is that why?
No, I don't know. If you watch, I don't watch a ton of NBA, but every time you watch him on the court, like he's always like whining to the refs and like kind of like he like it seems like the kind of guy likes to blame his teammates.
He's kind of the Tom Brady. He's kind of the Tom Brady of the NBA, right? So Tom Brady's kind of really like, at least from what I've seen, kind of like a little whiny with the refs. Like he'll like throw a little bit of a fit, and so I get where that's coming from. I don't really like Tom Brady because he seems to just complain constantly and get praised for doing absolutely like sometimes like there's like once in a while there's like a bad Tom Brady throw and they're like, oh my gosh, he totally threw it away on purpose, and you're like, dude, like, are you watching the same thing I am? Like,
are you talking about Sunday Night Football when Chris Collinsworth?
Now here's a guy that
is talking about Tom Brady when he's playing.
And don't be hating on my boy Chris.
I do not like Chris Collinsworth. His voice.
I like Chris Collinsworth.
I am not. I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan.
I think
like at least they're not like the worst commentator duo.
No,
like they're a great commentator duo. Like anything tops ESPN pretty much.
Oh yeah, ESPN. Or if you just listen to like a random you get like a random like morning game or afternoon game that has like a couple nobodies, and you're like, there's just nothing. They're just literally commenting on the play as they happen. Like at least
it's the morning guys from Cincinnati that just
yeah, they're just like, yeah, like Ryan Finley sure looks good today.
Joe
6.
Burrow just broke his body.
Died.
Yeah. So.
What did
like,
happen to Joe Burrow? Can someone explain?
I watched it in slow mo, and you see his knee like pop out and then pop back in, like one of those like.
So he's healed then, right? It just went right back in.
No, the scary part is I read that ACL tear, MCL tear, and then they said another structural damage to his left knee.
Oh my. He was going for trifecta or something.
9 to 12 month timetable, it's not even guaranteed that he plays next year.
Yeah, if he doesn't heal well, he could be out for like midway into the season next season, maybe even the whole season next season.
Yeah, they wouldn't even. You had to go on YouTube to find it because they wouldn't show the when it happened on the TV. It was gruesome enough that they didn't show the replay. So
dang. So, for reference, it was Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback,
the rookie number 1 overall pick quarterback. Yeah. It was in the third quarter. He was throwing, and it was like 2 defenders hit him, like one high, one low, and like his knee his leg kind of got like sandwiched awkwardly.
His leg looked like a Z. Zip, zip, zip.
It just bent the wrong way, or sideways too much or something. But yeah, you watch the kneecap like one of those those little rubber things you flip inside out and they pop up and they fly a couple like that. That's what his knee looked like for like a second.
They're supposed to do that, right? I mean, when I see knees, they're supposed to pop up into the air.
Mikey Benz, right? Like, totally is that flexible.
So with gruesome injuries like this, in the NFL? When do we start to shy away from football, and then like American culture gets more interested in things like billiards or something? Like
as soon as the money
billiards?
dries up, as soon as parents realize that they're sending their kids to die, like high school football, like that's probably when it stops.
Do you think people will ever realize that? Like,
I think so. I mean, I don't know about.
100%
I'm not anywhere close to being a parent, but I don't know if I would let my kid play football. I would be kind of somewhat on the fence about that.
So why do you support football then by watching the NFL and
Oh my
playing
gosh.
fantasy football and watching college
Stop.
ball? Like, I mean,
plus,
come on,
it's,
Landon.
it's God's chosen sport. Like, come on. Like,
American sport.
Yeah.
I mean, football really is though. Is like people say baseball is great American sport, but I mean, I feel like football is the American sport.
Yeah.
I feel like football's like exclusive to America and the biggest in America.
People in other countries like baseball. Like,
No one likes football outside.
well, I mean, certain, there's small sects of people, but like baseball's huge in Japan. It's huge in
Cuba.
I think some other South American countries too is pretty big, like down in that area, Middle America, South America.
Well, I mean, what is? I mean, football's fun to watch. I mean, it is kind of a bummer that it's so destructive to the human body, though. Because, like, if all football went away, there would need to be some type of sport or some type of event that people spent their time participating in and watching to take its place, most likely. And I don't know what would necessarily be a good.
I'd probably watch more hockey. If football went away, I would probably get more into hockey. But
yeah, that's a very, very safe alternative, right, Landon?
I think there's way less injuries in hockey.
What would
actually
kids would kids be more likely to do then as they grow up? I mean, because not everyone who plays
Hockey's
football
hard to
can easily play something as complicated as hockey. I mean, not to like besmirch
Are you saying
center
football's a dummy
or
meathead sport?
or like the O line or something, but
yeah, I don't know what you would play. I think
we'd shift more towards a focus on
academics.
that's not American. How dare you?
I think we'd follow the rest of the world and like
We can take the budget from the sports programs and pay our teachers more.
Landon is.
That sounds like a good idea,
Crazy.
Landon. I like that idea.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, I mean, no one respects teachers more than Landon. That's something we've
No
always
one.
said on this show and in real life.
I was kind of somewhat joking about that, but I do think schools, it'd be better if they put more focus on academics than sports.
I mean, the problem is sports is what like brings in a lot of the money.
Oh,
And
sports is what sells,
that's kind
100%.
of the thing. See, that's what we need to make things like billiards more interesting. I mean, could you imagine?
Yeah. I mean,
I can't, but I'm glad you can. Thanks, Landon.
I was trying to. I just said I could, but the more I think about it, the less it.
It's just all like
There's
Imagine
always
a massive
Billiards,
stadium with just one
darts,
like pool table,
bowling.
there are moments in sports where it's like, oh, like in football it's like 4th and goal, or let's say like 2nd and goal from like the 1 yard line, like 30 seconds on the clock or something like that, and you throw an interception or something like that.
That's equivalent to the pin wobbling in bowling.
No, stop.
No.
Like,
pin,
there's
like-
nothing
like
like that
is it
in
gonna
any
fall?
of the sports.
Is a spare strike?
Like there's
Crowd goes
there's, like,
mild.
there's like these tense moments that I feel like can't be replicated easily in more things that are less popular. The reason why things are so popular is because they get so many tense moments. I think there's like for football, I think it's the most you can have for a tense moment. That's why it's so popular. That's my opinion, I think.
Is it because there's so many people on the field? Is it because it's a contact sport?
I think of how many different things can happen in the game.
Oh
like,
yeah, like
I love hockey. Yeah, I love hockey, but like at the end of the day, like goals are scored back and forth. Like in football, like I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when the Vikings played the Saints in the playoffs, and they were down by 4 with like 30, like with like no time left, and the quarterback for the Vikings, Case Keenum, like rolled out and threw this like desperation pass, and like the defender made a mistake, and the receiver jumped up and had a great catch and ran like 60 yards for a touchdown as the clock expired, and they won the game, and like everybody like rushes the field. I remember running around my house, like my parents' house, screaming like a maniac for like 30 seconds because it was so incredible. Like, and you just can't replicate that kind of excitement on, in a game of pool. So 8 ball, corner pocket. Oh my gosh.
It's like he calls the wrong pocket. The crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
Well, what about like poker? Like you're waiting for that last card to turn over, and do they complete the royal flush?
Al Michaels, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Poker gets bumped up from like ESPN 3 to regular ESPN.
Chris Collinsworth, Al Michaels Colin Poker Championship.
Now here's a guy that loves to look
that loves
to
loves
bluff.
pairs.
I'm trying to. Yeah, there's no sport. I'll say maybe lacrosse. But lacrosse is so douchey.
Is it just some is it like some animal meathead brain thing that's why we like sports like football, and why it's easy to joke about something like billiards or bowling or anything else not being as popular with a huge amount of people.
It's kind of our primal nature, like
yeah. I mean things like rugby, things like hockey. I mean those are very popular. Even like soccer. I mean,
yeah.
In most of the world is
maybe
I'd say it's still pretty a fairly kind of active, but also like injury prone.
Maybe possibly. It's the fact that we there's something to watch. Like when you watch a football game or a hockey game, you're watching like people
risking their bodies.
Well, no, like people that are exceptional at something, but like it's very tough to be exceptional at. Like I feel like, not taking anything away from bowling or pool, but let's be flat out honest. Like it'd be way easier to become really, really good at pool than it would be to get play really good at quarterback. Because like if you look at the NFL, there's they can't even find 32 guys to play quarterback well. They can't do it. In the whole entire country, they can't find 32 guys to play at a high level. I mean, how many really great pool players are there? I would assume thousands. So maybe that's high.
I don't think that's a fair comparison, though, in the end, honestly.
But I could get really good at pool. I could not play quarter. I couldn't play any position in the NFL ever.
I don't know if you could get really good at pool.
I bet I could.
I think your chance of being a really good quarterback is probably about the same as being an expert billiards player.
I'm not saying expert, but like I mean like good. Like I couldn't even be on an NFL. If I got hit on a football field, I'd be dead.
Well, no, if you that's because you're short. I mean, if you worked out, I mean, we couldn't be quarterbacks because of our stature, Landon.
Am I being short shamed? We're the same height.
Yeah, I'm saying we could not be quarterbacks due to our stature.
So
maybe like pee-wee football. I don't know. You'd even be kind of short for a quarterback, right?
No, 6'1" is fine.
Yeah, that's short. 6'1" short for a quarterback.
Wait, you're 6'1"? Oh, you're taller than I thought. Yeah, I mean that's more like akin to quarterback height, but like
it's on the low end.
Still a little low.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, like Peyton Manning, was he like 6'5", 6'4", or something?
All right, here we go.
I think he might have been 6'6".
Oh my,
he was tall.
I mean, I think you're more capable at being good at football and not as good as being capable as billiards as you think you could be.
Yeah, dude. I think what you consider
that's an underhanded compliment right there.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
No. Landon,
I'm gonna buy a pool table now. When I get a house, I'm gonna buy a pool table and prove you wrong. I'm gonna play for like 5 hours every night.
But if you practice like 5 hours of football every night, like you would be really good at football.
I don't know. I don't think.
What do you mean you don't know? It's
I don't think I would be.
What you think is good billiards is like the equivalent of flag football on like Thanksgiving morning. Like,
dude, I'm gonna go pro.
So. Yeah, I think Landon's underestimating what good means at.
I'm gonna go pro. Yeah, I'm gonna go pro.
Good billiards, like they sink every single ball at the correct angle every single time. Like that's the top. Like players don't even get a.
This is math, baby. It's all math, baby. That's all it is. Get them angles down. I'm gonna get good at pool. I'm gonna buy a pool table.
I can't wait till you buy a pool table and then play 3 times.
It's just gathering dust. He uses it to store old pizza boxes that he hasn't taken out to the recycle bin yet.
Dude, my apartment's in like really good condition right now. It's very clean.
Is that because your mom came over and cleaned it for you?
No, I cleaned it myself. Stop. My mom tries to come over. Like she tries to come over and like just do things. Like they came over the other night to watch. Like my little sister kicked them out of their own house because she wanted to have like people over for a Friendsgiving like party. So like she kicked my older sister and my parents out, and they came over here for dinner. And like my mom just shows up, like just like starts to try to like decorate my apartment. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have to stop. I'm like, you have to stop. She's like, why?
Redecorating, I feel like that's something you'd have to take advantage of, right?
No, it's called boundaries.
Do you not like Christmas?
Yeah, so like,
I
are
like
you
Christmas.
gonna decorate your own house, like, or your own apartment?
They did buy me a small little tree that I set on my dining table. So the Fortress of Solitude has a little bit of festive cheer.
It has a crack in the wall.
Yeah. So alone.
Oh no.
What?
Oh man.
What movie did you guys watch?
We watched Jojo Rabbit.
I don't know if we talked that. I've talked about the movie on the show before. I didn't know that you had seen it before.
I thought I told you I'd seen it before. I definitely did.
You like that movie though?
Yeah, I would say it's an exceptional film. That would be if I had to give it. I mean, I don't know if it's quite in my top 10, but I feel like if it's not, it's very close. It just like goes so well between like funny, but like also really sincere, and like really heartbreaking. I mean, I for a good part of the movie, I was kind of choking up. There's some scenes that are really hard to watch that just really like.
And I feel like it kind of it doesn't catch you entirely off guard, kind of like the tone of the movie, but the movie does start much happier and funnier than the way the movie progresses. And like in the marketing of the film, I was kind of initially expecting something that was more like a comedy. I guess something more like What We Do in the Shadows, as opposed to maybe Boy, like one of his other movies. Taika Waititi, he's the director of the movie.
An emotional masterpiece like Thor Ragnarok, right?
It does such a good job of capturing the viewpoint of a war from like a 10-year-old's point of view. Just even in the shots when he's walking through the town, you can see things happening that he is not aware of. Just slight things that he's not able to pick up on that you're like, oh, this is progressing this way. This is the way the war is going. Just subtle things that like a child wouldn't understand. And I think like I said, I think the movie is exceptional and is like really conveys. It's a very sad movie.
Yeah, it's really sad, but it has some good funny moments, and I really like pretty much every character in that movie. Sam Rockwell is in the.
His performance is really underrated, I think, too, especially towards the end of the film.
Because he has some interesting changes that he goes through, I think, and kind of like valuing the innocence of this child and the importance of what's happening and what's going to happen to their country and how it's going to affect people like what's the character's name? The boy's name?
Jojo. It's Johannes or something. It's Jojo, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's Jojo Rabbit.
Well, the name of the movie is Jojo Rabbit.
No, I know, but there's a scene where they're making fun of him because
but his name's Joe. I think they call him Jojo. So
anyway, good movie, and so you watched that movie with you showed that movie to your parents, right?
Yeah. Man,
how'd it go?
Watching movies with my mom is really tough. Like,
why, Landon?
She asks like really bad questions. Like, I'm the type of person, like, when you watch a movie, like, as soon as you hit play, like, you shouldn't say anything.
It's a bummer Mick's not here, because he would be here, applauding that, because he's the biggest proponent for saying that you don't talk during a movie, and you're not actually supposed to do anything else except have your eyes looking at the screen. You can't look down at your food. You can't have food because it's too loud and distracting.
I think he shuns blinking. Like,
I'm not on the Mick bandwagon where like Mick. I think Mick will like actually get angry at people like beyond that and think like that they didn't. You know what I mean? Like if you check your phone for half a second, he's like, "Oh, they didn't pay attention to the movie at all or anything." When it's like, "Oh, I was just checking the time or something." Like I'm not quite on that extreme point where like I hold it against people for that long after they've seen the movie.
Michael holds that against people?
He held it against me for Man of Steel, like when I was on my phone for like 30 seconds.
If you would have paid attention to that masterpiece instead of like being on your phone and wasting your time with that. I mean, you could
that movie is not an exceptional film. I will say that movie is not an exceptional film.
Mick's not here to defend that movie, so I mean, I will defend how great of a masterpiece that movie is. The music is really good, and then
Kevin Costner's?
no.
I mean,
is Kevin Costner good in any movie?
I Dances with Wolves. I'm a big fan of Dances with Wolves.
Well, you can be a fan of the movie, but then not be a fan of the actor.
No, I thought he was fine in Dances with Wolves. I mean, I wouldn't say that he's like the best actor ever in that movie. Oh my gosh, what a riveting performance! But like, he was fine.
I think it's easy to consider Kevin Costner not a good actor, actually, because I wasn't saying that he was the best actor. I was saying actually
he's
not a good actor.
I keep hearing people.
He's kind of one note, I feel like.
I keep hearing people talk about this show called Yellowstone that he's in, and people talk about it like it's really good, but every time I see like a clip from it or like a trailer, I'm like, this doesn't look good. Like, it's supposed to be like some like TV show about like some ranchers in like Yellowstone, like people are trying to take their land, but like it's not a Western because it's in modern time. I'm like, I don't think this would actually happen, probably. Like, I
mean, I don't have anything against Kevin Costner, and he is arguably the best part of Man of Steel. But let's move on.
Oh man!
Oh no!
Let's really move on. Like,
if you're watching movies, like asking questions. So like, I'll just throw a question my mom asked. So 30 seconds into the film, the movie opens with the protagonist, the 10-year-old boy Jojo, which I'm gonna be really mad if that's actually not his name. It's so stupid, but like he's in his room, like in Taika Waititi plays his imaginary friend who is Adolf Hitler. Like the boy's obsessed with Hitler and wants him to be his best friend. So like he has this imaginary version of Adolf Hitler, and it's very clear that this person's not real. You know what I mean? Like the way he's talking, the way he's acting, it's like this is not a real character. But after the first scene with them, my mom was like, well, was that supposed to be the real Hitler? And I'm like, just like, no. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're 30 seconds of the film. And then she just asks questions that like, I understand there's some movies that are confusing. Jojo Rabbit is not a confusing film at all.
It requires pretty straightforward.
It's a very straightforward film. I mean, there's some like nuance to the performances and some things that you pick up. The second time I watched it, I picked up on a little bit more from some of it. But like, it's not a Christopher Nolan movie. It's not it's not some whodunit like where you have to really be paying attention like to get everything out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's asking questions that it's like, there's, you know what I mean? Like the information to answer that question has not been provided within the context of the film. So why would you ask the question? You know what I mean? Like she knew I'd seen it, but I know she would have asked the question even if I wasn't there.
Does she ask questions or like 5 seconds later they address it in?
Basically, like, I mean, there's like, I don't want to get too heavy into spoilers, but there's certain things that happen where like she asks a question where it's like, of course that like, it's like she's asking like it's almost like a rhetorical question, but like she doesn't, it's like, well, like, what do you? Yeah. So
did you enjoy the movie again?
The movie's just as good, but like, there's a certain scene where I'm like choking up, like trying to hold back tears. And, like my mom asks like a dumb question. I'm just like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I'm trying to like enjoy the emotional weight of the scene, and you just asked like the most dumb question could have been asked. I'm sorry, I'm hating. It comes off like I'm hating, but I kind of am.
I mean, it adds.
It makes movie night interesting.
Yeah, it makes movie night.
It makes it interesting. Yeah, it's like. So yeah, I'm having my parents over to watch Tenet next week. So.
Oh no! Have you seen it yet? Or
no, I haven't. I'm just gonna buy it when it comes out on digital.
Yeah, it's coming out on digital in December, I think.
I'm just gonna do that. Like, I don't know. I like going to the theater, but you saw it in theater. Do you think like I need to see it in the theater, or is it gonna be fine just watching it on?
I think you're fine seeing it.
Yeah.
I mean, the sound I thought was kind of weird too, and that's actually something I've seen reports of about the movie, and some of the stuff is actually kind of hard to understand. So I don't know if you're one of those people that hates subtitles, but
no, if it's a lot of British actors, right, or British accents in the film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but also like the sound mix is actually kind of weird, where the dialogue is pretty low, and that or I'm just going deaf.
Hasn't Christopher Nolan had that with his movies before? I think he's had that critique before.
Yeah, but like in the theater, there was quite a few scenes where I had to really be paying attention to understand what they were saying because of the weird volume of the dialogue, and it wasn't at intense action scenes. It was characters on a boat talking, or characters just walking, just walking along talking, and it was hard to understand, which is a bummer because the movie is so confusing anyway. You kind of need to know stuff.
You need that dialogue.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'll just wait for it on DVD or not DVD, but digital. I'll just buy it.
VHS.
That's easily my biggest pet peeve with movies is when the audio mix is off and the dialogue you can't hear as well as like you can't hear the dialogue as well as the music. Like if the music is over loud, like and blaring, it just irritates me to no end because the music is supposed to be the background and usually during most shots. But
I mean, Mick's gonna be mad that you guys didn't see it in theaters.
Stop. He's gonna probably be more mad at you for criticizing the audio mix. So.
Well, I'm not criticizing the audio.
I can't believe
mix.
you would hate on Christopher Nolan's latest masterpiece. Like, I can't believe you hated the movie.
Like, did you just like? Spoiler for your review. I'm curious. Did you just like not understand the movie or not like the movie?
Oh no! Are you practicing so that for when Nick's back, just getting ready
side
for those
with him,
heavy hitters?
No, I'm just curious because you said I didn't understand it, but I don't know how that actually relates to your like or dislike of it.
I liked the movie. I thought it was a fun movie, and there was kind of some interesting the whole time thing. It's about time. Will
it's about time.
It is about time.
What? I called it. I knew it.
And that was cool. It reminded me somewhat. This isn't a spoiler, but just kind of the time travel-y stuff reminded me a lot of Primer. Have you guys seen that movie?
No.
It was like an indie time travel film about these two guys basically that invent time travel in a like a storage shed. They're building this machine to travel through time. But it's the way they do the time travel in the movie. It's kind of like an interesting closed loop, sort of, or maybe not a closed loop, but it's an interesting loop how you kind of like you're going back and re-experiencing things that you do earlier in the movie, but it's done really well that it's hard to find certain kinds of flaws in the way they have that set up. And
There's
also
not some like blatantly big plot hole that you can easily see. Like,
I mean, other than like
the
time travel not being real, but I mean, but
what?
Real to me, damn it.
But yeah, it's one of the closest I've seen to something like I could feasibly think that this is somewhat believable in how
that's cool.
how they
Nolan's pretty
tackle
good
time
at doing
travel.
that with certain concepts. Like he makes his films pretty grounded.
Yeah, and so Tenet kind of reminded me of that movie in a sense. I think I like the time travel better in Primer. Primer is also it's a shorter movie. It's like an hour and a half or something.
Is it good?
I think it's really good. Yeah, I've seen it.
I've never even heard of it.
It wasn't a huge movie. I've seen it a couple times. But it's usually it'll pop up on Netflix or Amazon every once in a while.
Is it from 2004?
No, it's from like maybe. I'd have to for some reason I thought it was like 2007 or 2009. I don't quite remember, but
well, there's really only one Primer. I'm looking through it, and so it's
if you find the time travel Primer movie, then
it says 4 friends / fledgling entrepreneurs, knowing that there's something bigger and more innovative than different error checking devices they've built, wrestle over their new invention.
That sounds kind of about right. I would check it out. It's not a long movie, and it is some of the best kind of understanding of time travel I've seen. But it is one of those like you really have to kind of wrap your head around how the time travel is working. And Tenet was very similar to that, where you kind of have to. I mean, I don't want to spoil some of the mechanics of the movie, but
No.
You really have to kind of like do some crazy thinking with this movie, where I would say even more so than many of his other movies, more than Interstellar, more than Interception, more than Inception. Interception. It's like it's the next Nolan movie.
Yeah, but starring Jameis Winston. It's like playing like the music for Tenet. It's like instead of like John David Washington, it's like Jameis Winston. Like,
he throws the touchdown to himself.
There's like a ticking clock. There's a ticking clock in the background as he throws the ball.
The points are going backwards.
I only have a word for you. It's like Bruce Arians on the boat. He's like, turnover.
Oh my goodness. Is Jameis Winston, is he gonna start for New Orleans, or is he back up to like
Taysom again?
New star Taysom Hill?
I think Taysom's gonna keep playing. Balled out.
Is he gonna get the starting job when Drew Brees retires at the end of the year?
I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I feel like it's kind of tough because, I mean, Jameis Winston's still younger than Taysom Hill. And it's kind of Taysom Hill, like, he played really well, but, like, is it just that because, like, they don't have enough film on him from playing quarterback? I don't know. They'll probably, I would let Taysom Hill play the next however long Drew Brees is out, just see how he does over a stretch of time. Because you know what you have in Jameis Winston, like
a guy that's going to throw interceptions.
Well, no, that's selling Jameis short. I think he did throw for 5,000 yards last year and 30 touchdowns. It just happened to have 30 picks too. So I feel like he could be a good quarter. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Over his entire career, he's got 121 touchdowns and 88 interceptions.
Do you think Jameis Winston could be as good at billiards as Landon is going to be in the end of the year?
I think it'd be a little difficult, but like I think it's super easy to get really good at billiards. So yeah, I think so.
Stop.
I was going to say, what's the equivalent of throwing interceptions in billiards? Is it just knocking
scratching?
It's just scratching all the time.
He has even like he sinks a ball and then he scratches.
Yeah.
He sinks a ball and then he scratches.
Oh, please.
What's wrong, Landon? What's wrong?
Please stop. Well, if it's a tricky movie, I'd rather watch it on stream, like digital, because then I can maybe pause if my dumb meathead can't understand something. I can rewind real quick and watch it again, or turn subtitles on. I'll sometimes just turn subtitles on for like a certain section of the movie, like if I have a hard time understanding like a line of dialogue where I'm like, I have no idea what they just said. Like sometimes like someone talks really quietly, or it's like someone talks quietly with like a really thick accent, and I'm like, I have no idea. I had to do it for been watching the newest season of Fargo, and there's this character with like a really, really thick Italian accent. He has this really quick, like 30 second like dialogue scene where like he's like talking really fast though. And then like
guns come out. Turn on subtitles on for that?
Well, I had to, because like he's talking really fast, and then like profanity flies, and then like guns start firing, and then these people are dead, and I'm like, I don't know what this guy said before he killed these people. Like I kind of want to know. And then turn the subtitles on. And it's like, oh yeah, I didn't get any of that.
I pretty much just always have them on everything, so I'm used to them. They're not. I don't. Some people find them really distracting. Michael hates subtitles, and I am the opposite, where I always have them on. I like them. They're helpful. I don't think they distract from what I'm watching.
It depends. It depends on. Sometimes the subtitles, like if they don't give you the option to like adjust the size of them, like sometimes you have it where it's like they're massive, and I found like sometimes you can't adjust the sizing on certain things. Like
I feel like every streaming site though, or platform, lets you adjust the size.
Maybe I just didn't let them.
I can't think of one that like, oh gosh, the text is so huge.
Maybe I'll have to check again on some of them, because I like it when they're just pretty small white text in the bottom of the screen.
Wow, why does it have to be white, Landon? Why can't it be yellow? Or
I don't like the yellow. It doesn't.
Dang.
Stop, please.
Heard it here first.
I don't like the yellow.
Teachers, the color yellow. What's next, Landon?
Well, we don't have much time left, but Landon and we saw the 4th episode of Mandalorian. I think Will is behind, but
I'm super high. I've been storing them up. Like I'm ready to cash in. Like when like the final episode comes out, I'm just gonna go. Boom, boom.
I kind of like watching one a week. I've been doing them. I've been watching them like Sunday morning with like a cup of coffee and breakfast.
Brie
like,
and I watch them
like
on a
morning.
Yeah, Brie and I watch them on Friday nights. Have dinner and stuff, and it's great because we're always just eating with Baby Yoda, because Baby Yoda is just eating in every single episode.
Yeah,
this one he had those
parts.
Blue macaroon cookies that he was just munching on that he stole from that other kid.
Yeah, that was so funny. I love when they plopped him down in the chair at the school. I'm like, this is just so funny.
I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, he's just like,
all the other kids are kind of just like, I guess we're just going with it. This weird looking alien thing.
It already sounds hilarious.
Yeah. Not a whole lot happened in the episode. I don't feel like nothing actually.
I mean, the biggest thing is that it just brought back another character. Not to like spoil anything much, but another character that we saw earlier.
Side quest. Yeah,
new side quest. Like I think this wasn't a side quest. I think this is kind of more connected to the main quest.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're getting somewhere.
You checked your map, and it's like oh, this character has a new quest for you, and like you think it's like, oh, cool.
It's uncanny how much like a video game that show is. It's weird.
It's awesome.
I like it though. I like it. I mean, you were talking about that last week. It scratches some itch that not many other.
There's not any other TV shows that are really like it. So and I don't think I would want many other to be like it. You know what I mean? It's not like something I want. Generally, it's not something that would appeal to me. But for whatever reason,
yeah, I would agree. I mean, it makes it more special, and it's easier to look forward to it too when you have less shows that are kind of in the same vein. It's not another period crime drama show. Not to besmirch Fargo. I mean, like I love
Fargo's exceptional.
I love Fargo, but a lot of shows I like are shows like that. And
you need to watch the new season. It's so good.
Yeah, I'll probably hit that up as soon as we have one episode left of What We Do in the Shadows TV show.
Oh, okay.
We're finishing that up, and then we'll.
I didn't realize the whole season. I thought the whole season was going to be done with Fargo before like I got to the end of the episodes, and now I'm having to wait for them to come out on Hulu like each week. I'm really sad. So. Well,
maybe next week you can talk more about Fargo. Maybe we'll have started.
I think the last one will be up next week.
So this will be a short episode this week because Mick's not here. So anyway, thank you for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm just waiting for Landon to do some kind of like guttural monkey sound or something like he always does.
Did I do a good enough job?
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.